SmartPM is our data management technology that we've created here at Construct Solutions. We ultimately introduced this product about a year ago. And what it is a data management tool for the construction industry. A little bit about myself. One of the designers of this tool. I've got a background in consulting, construction consulting. People have always hired me to kind of come towards the end of a project and figure out what exactly happened. You know, where did my money go? Where did my time go? Why did it happen? There was a process that I followed all the time, and it focused around data. It focused around capturing data and utilizing that data to figure out all the questions that contractors had as it relates to money and time, particularly when they were over budget or delayed. Our product here is cloud-based. It's online. Our users access it through the site live.constructsolutions.com. When somebody signs up, they get a login, and they go to this site and they log in. So it's an online-based product. It's accessible through browsers on the computer. It's accessible through any device, whether it's a tablet or it's a a cell phone or a smartphone. But what you do is when you log on, you pick your project that you're working on. This is available to any team member who signs up for the product, meaning, any person that you want to be able to see the actual application can. We offer this to unlimited users. It's built at the project level. So if you purchase our product for a project, you can have unlimited users. User types vary. There's schedule administrators, people who are able to update and manage the schedule. There's activity managers and project managers, people who are able to enter daily reported information. And there's ultimately the read-only users. But the way it works is this. Since I don't consider ourselves a scheduling product, rather I consider us a product that utilizes the schedule to capture data. We bring the schedule online. You can do that by entering it into the program, or you can do that by importing it from your other program. But once you set up your program either on another platform or within this program, it is now viewable by many different people. And the goal here is to have it updated via the daily report process. Instead of having a scheduler update it once a month, figure out what happened, what activities started and finished, and what's the status of the activity, this program is designed to tell you today, where do we stand on this project, and what are we working on right now based on the schedule. They can do 3-week look-aheads, they can do 6-week look-aheads, that sort of stuff. It functions like any other program. But the magic to this program is actually the daily reporting process. So what I would do if I was a superintendent is I would click on Field Update. It would tell me what activities I'm working on today, which activities are ongoing right now. It would tell me my planned manpower. It would tell me based on the resources I've put in there, the resource numbers that I put into each activity, and the durations, how many people are required to get that done. So now the superintendent has something very cool and different. Right now, they know exactly what they're working on and how many people are supposed to be working on it. What they're responsible to do at the end of the day is fill out their daily report. What do they fill out? Well, it varies, but for this particular activity, we're asking to track manpower. We're asking to track man-hours. We'll say that there's 5 people working on 40 total hours. Let's say that we've gotten to about, say, 25% complete. We can list what did we do on this particular activity. We installed glazing on level 4. Impacting issues, this is the place where you can say whether or not it's raining or RFIs are outstanding or there's change orders. And what we do, we'll write change order 50 is outstanding, meaning they're being impacted by that. The other thing that they can do is upload a photo. But once you complete it, you click OK, you hit Close, and you'll see that a little blue dot pops up down at the bottom here on this activity. This indicates that they got some work done today on this particular activity, and the remaining duration actually calculates right here. And then once you fill out this next activity here, the schedule will update based on the data that's been entered to date, meaning when I get to the site tomorrow, I know exactly what I'm working on again. And that begins to become a system. That becomes that those dailies start updating your schedule. Your schedule starts getting updated to the next day. Your people in the field know exactly where the project stands as at that point. The schedule administrator or project managers can be reviewing the status of this schedule. All the data that we're entering into this database ultimately produces metrics, and it produces live schedule updates. And we look at metrics at 3 different levels. We look at it at the project level, we look at it at the activity level, and we look at it at the group level. So first we'll talk about the project level. The project level essentially tells me a few different metrics here that, if I wanted to look at a holistic view of the job, I can see where do we stand on schedule. It actually tells me right here, getting done 1 day sooner. Where do I stand on manpower? It means we're actually spending less hours than we're earning. As you can see right here, we've earned 11,589. We've spent 11,134. I can look at other little metrics. This tells me that we're 87% complete. We should be 89. That's why it's red. We're actually, in terms of the actual percent complete, we're a little bit behind. However, we're not behind in schedule. But we do see, based on that maybe there's a little bit of compression going on. We see an average activity duration variance. This isn't too bad. Sometimes I've seen some higher numbers. And this is pretty much your little dashboard to give you a few ideas about how you're performing overall. The other little things that I can do right here in the project metrics is I can look at my progress report, and it lists all my activities and gives me metrics on each isolated activity. I can see the percent complete, earned versus actual man hours, any variances, and ultimately, any duration issues. If we have our planned duration, current duration, actual duration. So there's many different things you can look at here to start to tell you where you're performing well or poorly. So I can always go back to my daily reports here. I can log in a day. I can see what was going on a given day right here, and I can even generate that into a PDF. Just like that, print it out, send it in. So by logging in the information through your phone, you're actually getting all the same information. It's being utilized in many different ways. It's also usable for printing out your daily report. So our goal here wasn't to double the amount of work, but ultimately add efficiencies while adding some transparency of information. The other type of metric that we look at is the activity level. I'm going to show you an example of an activity that was completed. We'll go to one of our first ones. Let's see here. We'll click on Level 1 Parking Deck. I can go look at each activity separately and start to study metrics based on that. I can look at what was the planned start and finish date, actual start and finish date, what was the total duration. I can do that in work days. I can do that in calendar days. Tell me the percent complete, earned man hours, actual man hours, gives me a performance index, a duration variance. Tells me everything that happened from a high level here. It can raise red flags if we're doing poorly. Let me look at another one here. Here's another activity where we ultimately have spent more man hours than we've actually earned. We've lost 100 hours on this activity. Our performance index is poor. Our duration variance is large. We've got a 2-day delay on a critical activity. We've got 100 man hours we spent more. The question is, why did it happen? So we can go to our field log. We can actually go click on our field log. We can go see day for day what was going on, what kind of progress was being made, what was impacting us. Here, for instance, this thing says we had permit issues, rain, unsuitable soil, more rain, removing unsuitable soil. So we had issues here that were kind of out of our control. And we see right over here every single day that our performance was impacted, and we can then go back to the issues and understand why it was happening. So at the activity level, you're able to historically go understand what's going on. Very interesting to me because that's basically what people have hired me over and over to do, is figure out historically what happened. But we're giving you the ability to do this just by loading your schedule in and filling out your daily reports. The other cool thing about this is you can look at your photos. By taking a picture with your phone while you're filling out the daily report, it starts to create a photo timeline organized by the activity. Other things that you can do in this metrics is you can make changes. You can modify the durations, man hours, budget. You can modify any number of things for activities that haven't occurred yet. Activities that are complete, you can't necessarily go in and make changes. And then there's the group metrics piece. Group metrics is another type of metrics that we are measuring, and this is my favorite. First of all, if I want to, it requires that I do a filter, And if I want to filter down to a particular trade, I'll say electrical here, I can apply this. And what it shows me is the metrics for that particular sub. It tells me what my original start and finish date was, duration, what my current, this particular sub got done in a much less time, tells me what their manpower performance index was, tells me what their percent complete is, their schedule performance index, their average duration variance. It gives me an idea of this particular subcontractor's story. Interestingly enough, it doesn't have to be subcontractors. It can be any filter you want to set up. If you want to look at a particular portion of the site, if you want to look at a particular level, if you want to look at on a particular level, you can do that. It's just about how you set up your filters. But this, to me, is very powerful because it enables you to ultimately pinpoint anything that you want to look at and ultimately study those isolated activities and how they're performing. And I think that this is very important, particularly if you're looking at the various trades that a given sub is supposed to be following, or if you want to look at a sub holistically, if you want to start to assess percent complete of a series of activities that make up a line item in either a subcontractor's payment application or your own payment application, or if you're an owner and you want to review the payment applications of the subs and the GCCM, you can start to do that with this tool. The other thing we can look at is a little progress report if you want to go review the subcontractor's activities one by one based on this filter. We can go do that as well. We can go see where they performed well, where they performed poorly, and any issue had thereof. But ultimately, that's the program as it stands right now. We look at it as something that's very game-changing for the industry. Data management is one of the hardest things to get your hands on in this industry, and we feel like we've solved that problem. And in doing so, we've added the ability for people to ultimately add efficiencies in the schedule management cycle, add visibility to people who are managing the work and the people who are actually out in the field, and ultimately add accountability at the end of the day. Once you have all this information in the system, there's no question as to why you spent more money or why you spent more time.